All right. Mic check. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Let's pop out the chat. What are we doing over there, chat? Let's pop out this chat. Retracting messages already. Holy fuck. All right, I'm going to start. First off, missed you, chat. It's been a while. I'm going to put up a poll. Let me see. I want to engage my audience. Can you hear me good? See me good? I'm going to make a couple corrections. I can't even see. Can you see me good? I gotta cut my hair. Shit's getting too, well, I like it buzzed close. Start a Q&A. Oh yeah. How was, no, I don't want to do Q&A. I want to do a poll. Get out of here. Start a poll. Did you like the Daryl show? I'm going to leave it. Makes it look like I'm crazy. We'll fix that. Daryl, did you like Daryl show episode 1? Simply a yes or no. That way we could get it like without, yeah, you like the shirt? I found, oh man, where did I find this at? It was like Target or something on the clearance aisle. No, where was it? No, I'm sorry. It was like TJ Maxx. And I took my daughter school shopping and she's picking out like Chucky, Michael Myers, Ghostface. There's all these like cool shirts and everything's like small men's or like boys, but they'll fit her really good. And I'm like, oh man, you're scoring, you know? And I think she found this. I forget because we went a couple times. And as soon as I saw it, I was like, I got too many black shirts, but for Back to the Future, I'll rock that. I've never had a Back to the Future shirt, so I figure I might as well represent. It is my all-time favorite movie. That, yeah, Joel Dixon is because I'm already picturing Hollywood, because you know they're stale and they just copy what works. I'm already picturing them go, the HBO's The Last of Us is doing well. Quick, let's rewrite and let's rearrange the Daryl show and let's turn Daryl Dixon into, you know, Joel Dixon, basically Joel from The Last of Us. And that's what we're getting. I don't believe for a second, not for a second, that someone actually sat there and went, hey, I have this great idea for an escort, you know, a post-apocalyptic escort story where this person is real hesitant, doesn't want to, but eventually escorts, I don't know why I'm saying that word weird, escorts this kid across certain dangerous land, and they grow a bond, either friendship / father figure. They even mentioned it in this episode. I don't believe for a minute someone thought of that without ripping it from The Last of Us, being like, man, it really did well. It'll fit Daryl. Let's steal some of that. So I think they definitely were like, let's rip off The Last of Us. It's doing well. Hollywood always does that shit. They always fucking do that. Anyhow, so we have the poll going. Please go and vote. I think it's only 6 episodes. I wrote a little list. In the very beginning. I wish I could pull it up. AMC, your app is trash. Luckily, I was able, I didn't want to order AMC. I didn't even want to give them the $10. I was going to watch it at 9, but I thought, you know what? I want to play a couple clips on the stream right now. So I put the AMC app on and I tried to pull it up on my computer, and the app itself, you know how when you go to sign in, it gives you the option to get the app and pay monthly or yearly? Well, I'm on a monthly plan, but now when you go to watch it on the computer, the app is stuck and it's like, in order to proceed, pay monthly. It's like stuck there, coincidentally. No, I'm sorry, pay for the whole year all at once. I already have a plan, but it will not go past that window. I've tried everything and it's like jammed up. But then I go on my phone and right away it plays it. So anyhow, I'll have to, I don't know, figure that out for next Sunday and we could play a skit. But I wanted to show you in the very beginning, I just bust out laughing because the very intro of this episode has Daryl coming out of the water, drinking some shit that I don't even think anybody would even think to drink, you know? I don't know. I'm hoping it was rainwater, but water still goes bad. So I don't know, man. Like, don't mosquitoes like piss and shit and birth in, you know, dirty water? And that, especially if it sits, doesn't it grow mosquitoes and shit? This guy's just drinking everything. He's probably shitting out his or pissing out his ass later on. I'm surprised they didn't show him sick as a dog. He was even worse than Negan. You remember Negan drinking some nasty water and then starts throwing up or shitting his brains out, whatever. Anyhow, so at the very beginning, he gets out of the water. He starts walking, and you get this post-apocalyptic landscape, and there's a tiny boat. And I just bust out because we're always talking about the budget and how their budget is a little rough. And I have to find that image now. I wonder if there's still the intro on YouTube. Oh man, I want to try it. You know what I'll do real quick while I'm talking about it? I'm gonna go ahead and I'll see about blocking out the background, and I'll try to pull up the AMC app real quick to see if I can get that to play, because I got to punch in my information, my password and all that, so I don't want to show it on stream. But let me try to sign in. But next up, after that, I had a little laugh at the boat. And then the first place he stops at has water, a tape recorder, batteries. I mean, it has all this shit that it still won't play the app. This is crazy. It goes right into like buying. That is nuts. I already have a subscription. It's fucking bonkers. But first place he gets to, they have all this. And I kind of wouldn't have minded showing a little bit of travel and scavenging but I get it. If the tape recorder's there, the guy probably had a store of batteries, but then he also looted up, and, you know, it just felt a little too easy and convenient, like get out of water. And again, these are small criticisms, but they kind of do chip away, because if your story isn't rock solid, these little criticisms kind of stand out in a big way. But next up, we get the acid walkers. As far as I know, there's no explanation for these acid walkers, right? I'll look at chat in a second. Let me put this back up. But there's no explanation for the acid walkers. You know what I feel like? The Walking Dead is getting so desperate for something new. Instead of doing good writing, they're looking for running zombies, acid zombies, and all this other shit. And it feels like The Walking Dead is slowly turning into Resident Evil in a way, where it's like we have the zombies, they have the classic zombies, but now it's about more. It's about the mutations and the this and the that. So, and it's slow. I'll give them props on, they're not going crazy overboard with it, but it does feel like it's leaning into that a bit, or getting dangerously close to getting more than just the regular zombies. But anyhow, he picks up a weapon that was really stupid. I'm a big fan of zombie films, so, you know, maybe a lot of people didn't even realize or think about it, but when you pick up a weapon that is made to, you know, spear and hook something and not let go of them, because essentially it's like a spear hook or a giant, you know what I mean? Like like a giant hook for your fishing reel. You'd want something that can slide in and slide out as easy as a porn star. You know what I'm saying? You want it to go in and out and pop and get the job done. Something like an ice pick, a sword, something of sharp that can go in and out and not jam, not get stuck in the bone of the skull and the this, that, and the third. In a part of the episode, he even gets stuck, but instead of it being about the poor design of the weapon, or the poor design of a tool that he turned into a weapon, it's just like a small moment to build up tension among the zombies. I did like the scene, the background, the locations, even fighting some of the zombies later on with the nuns fight, the nun fight. You know, some of them nuns just getting blown open by bullets and the little trade-off they had. Some of that was badass, super quick. It was only like 2 seconds. But anyhow, we get to the moment where they're setting everything up in this episode. And I think that is why even though I left this episode being like, yeah, it's mid as fuck. You know, it is mid as fuck. But I'm positive about it still. Similar to Dead City, even though it's mid as hell, they got this setup out of the way. Now, last time I thought Dead City would pick up a lot after the setup was done, and it didn't. It kind of like, It got hyped up, then it died down a little, and it kind of petered out. I'm really hoping, because the trailer for the rest of the season for the Daryl Dixon show looks like a crazy acid trip. So I'm curious what direction they're gonna go, and I want to see what kind of crazy shit they do. But yeah, I gotta admit, there's a lot of setup here I really didn't care about. The nuns, ooh, big whoop. And you guys know how I feel on religion. Now, this one was a little bit different. Usually in religion, they're trying to push it in there as really boring religious bad guy characters that I find to be dull as shit. This one is different because it's not like, oh, look, here's religious bad guys, but it's this religious storyline that I don't give a shit about. And it feels so weird in The Walking Dead. Like, here's a kid that quotes the same thing Judith did, but not in a way where it made Daryl Dixon reminded him of Judith and everything that's going on, but in a way where it felt like he has like this, I don't know, this, I don't even know how to put it, but there's something special about the kid, and they call him the coming Messiah. Is that what they called him? My brain checked out from all of that. I don't find any of that story interesting. I don't want any part of it. It's dumb. It's a dumbass trope. I can't stand when they, or for my personal tastes, I'm not big on the whole religious crap, prophecies and this and that and the one. And if it's tied into religion, I want nothing to do with it. Not because I'm hating on religion, but just because I find it to be cheap. There's no real grounded set of rules. It's kind of just, mystical. And in that case, you can write yourself out of bullshit. I'm not looking forward to any of that unless it's a big twist where it grounds itself really quick afterwards. The kid was dumb. They know they're going to search the community, right? Every room. And then they put the kid in a room and they lock the door instead of just putting him somewhere like in a cupboard where they know a grown man isn't going to be in the cupboard. So there's no reason for the soldiers to look in the cupboard, but they stick him in a room. All right, fine. The room's door, it looks like a wall, except the idiots who made the room has hinges openly visible. Okay, fine, whatever. If they're looking real quick, they won't notice the fucking clearly hidden door that's not hidden at all. It's hidden a little bit. Anyhow, but then the part where I just wanted to find the writers and slap them in the teeth was when the kid waits until the bad guys are standing in front of the hidden door and he locks it then and there. Any writer, anybody in the creative field that comes up with ideas this painfully dumb should be fired and banned for like 6 months. Just kick them out of Hollywood for 6 months at a time. If they do it again, it's a whole year. Go fucking wash dishes for a whole year. Be a landscaper a whole year. Do something, but get the fuck out of the creative field, because to write, to edit, to film, to capture something so incredibly fucking stupid, you guys are collectively the biggest problem when it comes to creativity. Yeah, that was dumb as fuck, man. And then I wonder what they were going for, having Daryl in the same scene twice and then saved. Now, the only other characters around are girls, so he was saved twice by a girl. I don't know if that ties into what they're doing, but he gets knocked on the ground. A character that ends up being brothers, a character in the beginning and a character at the end. They end up being brothers, and they both have him at gunpoint on the ground, and it's the same scene. They have to have a meaning behind it because it's identical. Daryl puts up his hand and he's like, no, don't. Now keep this in mind. Remember how I said The Last of Us, they're ripping off the Joel from The Last of Us? What happens with Joel in the beginning of Last of Us? It's just weird. The same fucking thing. The military guy shoots him. He falls on the ground. He puts up his hand because he's about to get shot. And then the military guy gets clapped. It's if you put the scenes back to back, they are literally copy pasted identical. We're not talking similar, close, fucking identical. Now, it's not a big deal. I mean, so what? I just think it's a little odd considering it looks like we're getting a Joel and Ellie, copy and paste in with Daryl and whatever the fucking nutso Messiah is. Anyhow, so everyone is killed, and it's a cool environment, but they all suck, and they suck bad because they've been alive for 20 years. No, how long's it been? Let's give them 10 years. They've been alive in the apocalypse for 10, 12 years plus. And even if it's been like 5 years, right? Their living situation was shit for 5 years. It looks like they just escaped the outbreak and it's been 6 months, you know? Anyhow, it doesn't matter because they get all killed. Another thing that The Walking Dead does, especially with the spinoffs, hey, look, here's a group of survivors. They've been surviving for 10 years. Oh no, a bad guy shows up. They're all fucking dead, you know? And they couldn't even do anything to survive. And then we move on. Oh, look, here's another group of characters. They're going to get our characters to from A to B. Oh, they're fucking dead, you know? And it's, I don't know, man. I don't fucking know. And then we got the singing with the guitar. That was cringe as shit, especially the kid pulling the guitar out, you know? Yo, I saw it before. Someone left a comment in Discord, and I saw it before I saw that comment. And when they were sitting down, and the girl starts singing, I was like, you better shut the fuck up. You guys know how I feel about singing in TV shows. Don't do it, you know? And then he pulls a guitar out of like nowhere, and I just fucking lost it. I was like, get the fuck out of here, bro. Anyhow, Daryl talks so vague about what he was looking for and what happened to him. That shit annoyed the fuck. He was like, I was looking for something, and I ran into bad people. And then I ended up here. And it was like, all right, you guys want to be vague? It sounds like he's purposefully not saying what happened, but it doesn't make sense. Why doesn't he just say he was looking for someone? Oh, we know why. Because if they want to retcon it later to, oh, he found them, but then they were escaping, then there's room because it was so vague. Small thing that was a little bit dumb. And then the end, it looks like the CRM at the end. But then they don't have the symbols. Maybe I missed it. I didn't see the symbols. They don't have the masks. They don't have those guns. I mean, they had guns, but it didn't look like the CRM guns. Anyhow, it looks like the CRM. All black, you know, ponytail. Again, a female leader. They did that the last time, and we're continuing that now because they need diversity, even though we had all female nuns here. I just don't buy these continuous stream of bitches in the post-apocalypse run and shit. I don't fucking buy it. We're not talking like you get to lean on technology. If shit pops off, you're gonna have like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I might not even make it. You know, my little ass. They probably, some big old Viking looking motherfucker probably just snap me in half and like, we'll move on to the next village. You know what I'm saying? So I don't believe all these bitches running the show. I don't fucking believe it. Not even for a little bit. Anyhow, but you guys let me know. Are they yeah, there's no symbols. Are they CRM or not? Because I don't know what they're doing. And again, it wouldn't be so bad. Like I like the female leaders, especially if they're really what's the word I'm looking for, man? They're playing that Game of Thrones. They're really methodical, you know? I dig that in a character. But the only reason I'm saying it like this is because in Fear, we had that leader, that girl, before, and this looks like they just recast her. But it's not the same character. It can't be, you know? But it's just fucking weird. It looks like there's just zero freshness there at all. Outside of, if you love this I don't mind that you loved it. Let me just ask you in all seriousness, take out the location, right? Take that out. Do you still feel the same, even a little bit from this episode? Take the location away. How do you feel now about this episode? Because I tell you what, you take the location away and this mid as fuck episode drops to like, what are we doing here? It was an overly long setup. We don't need to know all this mystical nun religion shit. We don't need any of this. She saved Daryl's life. Daryl owes her a debt, you know? And he's going to pay her debt by escorting this kid. Boom. We just set up the entire season in 20 minutes or less. That's what Breaking Bad did. Bam, right to the point. And that's a slow burn. and Breaking Bad did it quicker. Explain that shit, you know? Anyhow, that's my thoughts and opinions for Daryl's show. I am positive for what's coming up. I feel really good about the location change. However, there's still a ton of stupid shit. This episode was enjoyable that I didn't watch a totally shit Walking Dead episode. However, they really got to pick it up a bit, and it was overly long setup. But I am still positive, or I feel like it's promising what's coming up next. So I'm still holding out hope I'll like episodes 2 to 6. But for episode 1, there's nothing here for me, really. You know, no, there's cool, like 2 minutes worth of stuff. But outside of that, I'm good, man. The old man pretending to be blind, I like that. See, that's fine. That's a little nugget that I like, because it adds to, you know, some of the creativity. And here's the thing. Imagine if Daryl was a dick to the old guy. And this is what I mean by, like, The Walking Dead is missing a lot of charm. I feel like if you had the charm and the talent of the earlier writers, Daryl would have been a dick, a skeptical dick. And then he would have threw something at the old man, like the health kit. He would have threw the kit at the ground, and it would have thumped. And he, you know, the old man was like, "Oh, thank you," without even knowing what it was. Daryl could have thrown, you know, a tire iron on the ground, like, "Yo, bitch, I'm gonna beat your ass." And he, "Oh, thank you." You know, good writing would have had Daryl throw the med kit on the ground. It would have thumped. The old man would have said thank you. The girl would have bent down to pick it up. And as soon as she took her eyes off him, Daryl would have thrown a bandage, a little wrap bandage, and hit the old man in the face. You know? And then the audience laughs, but then we get it. Daryl's not believing. He's not falling for it. He's skeptical. This old man isn't really blind, because Daryl's a survivor. There's a piece of hair on my face. Daryl's a survivor. I mean, do some shit like this, like plot and plan this out where you have this shitty kind of generic scene of two strangers meeting up and trading for apples. And now you got this like little tension there. And then you realize Daryl is a dick. It's a blind old man. Then the reveal that he's not blind is like, oh shit, no, he wasn't blind. Daryl was right originally. He was trying to get over on him, and then he knocks Daryl out. That's the charm I'm missing from the Walking Dead writing, where you have like this, I'm going to leave it at charm. I'm not going to get into insults with talent and this and that and the third, but there's a depth and a charm to the, the earlier seasons that we do not even come close to seeing now. And that's a small example of something that I thought that, you know, as a fan, I would have enjoyed seeing something similar to that, especially with Daryl being the dick, you know? Anyhow, girl boss predictable at the end. Yeah, it's just so weird since she looks like a clone of the last one. I mean, it doesn't. And then we have the other girl boss, which again, it's like the girl who was originally from the garbage group. Ronnie's best when it comes to reviews. Well, thank you very much, Andrew. And they spoiled Carol in the show too a while back. Yeah, she's coming in season 2. Why do people whine about the most trivial stuff? Well, I mean, trivial is dependent on, you know, what. I guess trivial depends on it's like beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Like to you, you might be like, I don't care what weapons they use on a zombie. That's trivial, stupid shit. And to me, it's like that, not even close to trivial. Like that is fucking important, you know? My brain immediately goes, oh, that's hooked. As soon as you stab something, you're never getting that weapon out. You're fucked, you know? And I mean, you could call it trivial. Maybe you just don't have life experience. And I'm not saying like I run around stabbing skulls with a fucking spear, you know, but you have experience with different things where, you know, the second, you don't even have to think about it. The second you see it, you know, it's dumb. Like if a character takes a brick and they're walking, they grab a brick and they just start chewing on it and then they spit out dust and they keep walking, you might go, he chews on bricks for a late night snack. That's so trivial. And I might go, but that'll break his teeth. That's not realistic. It takes me out immediately. So I think it just depends on whether you're fucking regarded or not. You know, I don't know. I'm actually love the female CRM leader in the world beyond. Forgot her name though, but she was great. The British one. Yeah, she was from, I really liked her in Legends of the Fall back then. And I like her, the casting as far as being the leadership role, how she, her charm. I like her charisma, let's say. I did not like the writing for Fear, though. You know, if you put her in the same role with better writers, I would have been like, fuck it, let's do it, you know? Well, thank you very much, LV. I'm glad you enjoy the live streams. This is clearly, wait, what? Never made it past the first draft. I don't think they made this shit past the first draft. Season 1 Daryl was the best. Facts. Throw toilet paper at him. That would have worked. AMC won't do shit. They wouldn't even pay me $50. What are you talking about? They're strapped. I think they should have tapped into some true fans. You know, I think that is where AMC, because I think right now it feels like they're just grabbing people who want to put a job on their resume. I don't know, man. It wouldn't hurt to just tap into some fans, to get a real fan of the zombie genre, to just pull some ideas from them. You know, they don't even have to have any control whatsoever. Input, that's it. Hey, you're a real fan. We have this idea of a spear. What do you think? Well, I don't know, man. How's he going to get the spear back once he stabs a zombie? Oh, well, we don't care. Oh, well, all right. Do you want to go broke? Cooking a fish without gutting it. Yeah, Annie catches a big-ass fish right away. It's like, what the fuck? I'm sure, I mean, I don't know. I've went fishing a lot growing up, and we've always gutted fish before cooking them, and I would imagine there's some way to cook it with the guts still being in it, but fuck no. Just from what little experience I have on gutting and cleaning fish, there's no fucking way I would want to, you know, cook fish without gutting it first. No fucking way in hell. What up, Ronnie? Hope all's well, bro. I'm glad I made it to the stream. What's up, Luke? Everything's going good. The heat has been killing me, though. My plan was I started a new job. I'm doing maintenance work, and I want to work and get a promotion and then get more money coming in, and I want to start taking some of that money and funding some side projects with certain content. Some of it's going to be like, you know, movie shorts. And that's long term down the road. It's going to take a little bit to pull up the funds, get into it with some investors. But anyhow, that's like where my focus is. But my planning on working all day, coming home, hanging out with my daughter, making dinner, and then getting a little bit of work done at nighttime. But the heat has been so vicious that I come home, I'm exhausted, man. I'd be falling asleep like for an hour out of nowhere. You know, I sit down at the computer, I start tapping away, doing something. I'm fucking out. You know, I'm just like, I wake up not knowing what world I'm in. It's crazy. Anyhow, the worst was, all right, Q&A. Are the 3 spin-offs getting the budget for the 3 Rick movies that were supposed to happen? No, the budget doesn't work like that. They don't have, I mean, you can make the argument that it does in a way, and it all depends on if you want to look at it technically, right? The budget simply doesn't work like that. Like AMC having, you know, let's say they have $20 million to make Walking Dead stuff, so they have to take 10 here, 4 here, 3 here. It doesn't work that way. So if you have like Fear the Walking Dead, the budget and what it's making with different whatever they got going on, that doesn't mean that if you get rid of Fear, that money is now going to be able to be utilized for other shows. The reason I say like you can make the argument is because in some aspects, yeah, they could re-pull that money and redistribute it into another project, but it's not in totality. So that's where the problem comes into play. But in saying they had this money, because there's other partnerships and stuff that we don't even know about. Other partnerships, deals, sponsorships, you guys know other stuff I'm thinking of, but there's so much involved that it's not so clean as just moving it over. So I would say it has nothing to do with it. You can't even look at it as thinking like, oh, they had this for the movies, let's put it into the show, because there's so many different factors that's not going to get translated over to the other show, especially when the Walking Dead fandom seems more invested than many fandoms I know. I think there'd be some good ideas in the fandom. I think it would be great getting to the fandom. And again, most of them don't even know you need to do it. You know, you can just literally have something where scouted out where you're going to the fandom to pull not ideas, you know, if AMC was ever to do it, but you're pulling, you know, what's a way to put it? You're not pulling these specific ideas like guy does this, person does that, but you're pulling that
Didn't see
essence.
The episode, completely forgot it premiered tonight, so your review kinda bums me out, but happy to have the stream.
Well, listen, Veronica, first off, thank you very much for the tip. Your tip crushed it. I didn't even put together a leaderboard, but I'm going to throw you up here on the leaderboard. Massive thank you for the support. I will say, even though for me, it's not blowing me away, I will highly recommend you give it a shot, though, because the stuff, especially some of the oddities that annoy me, like incorporating the nuns in the religion aspect. And here's one good thing. People made a big deal about nuns branding people. That has nothing to do with it. It's just a wound. I won't spoil anything, but there's nothing to it. So a lot of that weird like cult nun shit, like it's not any of that. You know, it's literally just nun survivors. But even though for me it's something that I notice as not so interesting, you might get a different vibe from it. You might be a little more interested in it. I will be the first to admit that is a real specific annoyance catered to me personally, you know. But I would recommend you check it out because you might like it a lot more than I did. I think the fan base as a whole liked this episode with 83%. So even though I have my negatives for it, I definitely can see how the consensus the consensus, why can I not say that fucking word? Consensus. What the fuck is going on? I'm stroking out. In chat is on the positive side. Anyhow, let me get you up here. Consensus. What the fuck, bro? You know what? You know what else has me like stuttering over myself lately? YouTube has been getting crazy with cursing. So before you could just be free to whatever, as long as it's not over the top. Even if you curse a lot, it's not a big deal. But lately, I've been noticing more and more videos getting popped for just a few F-bombs. And it's like, so every time I go to speak, I try to catch myself and then I'm stumbling and then I don't know. But as long as it's not, because the videos don't add money at all, basically. But as long as YouTube isn't blocking it because of you know, when they have the yellow $sign, it's that you can't make money off it or less money. Plus, the biggest problem is they block it. As long as it doesn't come to that, I don't really care, you know, because I'd rather just kick it and it is what it is. We'll tweak some of the more polished reviews so that way YouTube has no reason to dethrottle or throttle, yeah, the growth of those. All right, what are we doing here? Overlays, tip, goal, tip. There we go. Properties. Aha, there we are. There we go. Thank you very much, Veronica. And I wonder if I could put that up here. That's down by our comments. Let's put that up here. Bam. Better down there.
How do you compare Black Summer to The Walking Dead? I think Black Summer is more reality-based.
You know, I'll just say this quick. First off, thank you very much, D-Man, for the $20 super chat. I really appreciate the support. When it comes to Black Summer, one of my biggest annoyances is just how it's filmed. There's a lot in Black Summer that I would have loved if it wasn't filmed with such a hectic, shaky cam, 300 edits, because they're constantly cutting. Even when it's supposed to look like one take, it's all over the damn place, and that in a big way pulled me out of Black Summer. So I would have to say, how do I compare them? You know, I kind of would compare Black Summer to be more of a frantic, popcorn flick that is more about how exciting it gets than it is about the characters. There's character stuff in it, but that's kind of how I would, more of like, even though how you put it, more reality based, from what I remember, because I don't remember any like real ridiculous different zombie stuff. It's pretty much just fast zombies. No mutant shit. Not that I remember, but I remember it being like more of that intense, fun ride, for the people that enjoy it. Popcorn, but focus on the speed and the excitement rather than really diving into in-depth character work and following these characters and their journey of survival. Because Walking Dead, when I think about it, I don't zone in on, oh, this exciting. I immediately go to the characters and their survival and everything around them. Me personally, I don't get that from Black Summer. I think of Black Summer and I think of, the excitement and survival. That's probably how I would say it. And again, that's probably hazy from, I only watched Black Summer season 1 and 2 once when it first came out. So I could still have a change of opinion. Black Summer loses all points just due to that annoying shaking cam. Yeah, there's others that don't like it. That was my biggest. I remember this one where people were running either around like not shipping containers, but something like that, or it could have been the side of a building or something. And it was such a cool scene that was absolutely butchered and ruined by how it was filmed. And that is one of my biggest issues with it. Black Summer had potential, Netflix, The Walking Dead, and they messed it up. I agree to that. I'm still waiting for Black Summer season 3. See, if they came out with a season 3, I'd still check it out. But in the back of my mind, I'd be hoping that they learn their lesson and they cut down on the shaking cam. Because shaky cam is only used to artificially create intense action. If you don't have the budget, can't choreograph it right, if there's flaws in how you're directing, and I'll be blunt with it, you're going to get more shaky cam. And again, that could cover up a budget. A lot of times indies cover up budgets with shaky cam. Because they go, oh, this action is going. And when you film it, the action doesn't look intense. But when they do all the shaky cam, then it looks a lot more intense. But the problem, though, even though it looks intense and hectic, it's not pleasant to watch visually. You can do the shaky cam. Saving Private Ryan does it at times amazingly, like almost to perfection when the times it does use it, I feel like The Walking Dead needs to be put on ice for 5 years, sold to HBO. No, I absolutely am against that. HBO can fuck off. Maybe even giving us straight adaptation as close as you can to the comic books. No fucking way. HBO had their chance and they blew it. And then they got The Last of Us and they thought, hey, let's cut down on guns because, politics. Fuck you. And then they thought, hey, let's take out violence because a lot of it is tied into, the guns. And also, we don't need that for this. Whatever. I forget the reason they cut out the gore. HBO can kiss ass. They don't deserve The Walking Dead. I'm not saying AMC does, but they don't deserve it. And no, after watching Last of Us, no, I don't think HBO would give us anything at all better. Not even a little bit. Ronnie Hayes, you rock. Good night. Thank you very much, Richard. But I do feel like The Walking Dead needs to calm down a bit and restructure and regroup. But let's do the Daryl show. Let's do the Rick and Michonne show. Let's wrap it up. Let's put it to bed and then come up with something that can bring it back, not to its previous glory, but to bring it back in relevance. You know what would be great? Imagine if every year you knew around that time for Halloween, you'd have a new Walking Dead, show or season or what. But imagine good Walking Dead. You know what I'm saying? Like that shit would click, and smaller, more intimate, more focused around the passion of telling stories in the zombie genre. That shit would be fire, yo. But they'll never do it because they're thinking maximize profits, which again, it's a business, but at the same time, you only got so much you're working with. Try and pause a shot on Black Summer. It's just a blurry mess every time. I believe it. HBO turned down The Walking Dead and Breaking Bad. Shaking Cam takes me back to Cheaters. Oh man, it's not HBO. It's the guy from Naughty Dog. Fuck them both. I know the guy from Naughty Dog had something to do with the guns, but here's the thing: for HBO to even go, sure, they should have put that down immediately. Say, listen, you have your politics on guns. Maybe this job or maybe this whatever isn't going to work, but this is zombie apocalypse where the guns use is heavy. We're not going to shy away from this shit. Don't be a bitch. So I'm not giving AMC any slack just because the guy, and I don't think it was the guy on Naughty Dog. I think it was the guy HBO hired as the showrunner, brought it to Neil Druckmann, and he was afraid to mention it. If I might be mixing up the stories, but either way, I don't give a fuck. Fuck him. HBO's Last of Us was trash because of Neil and the showrunner. I agree. Yeah, I think the creators of Last of Us, House of Dragon gets brutal. I like the episode, but I feel like The Walking Dead needs new ideas. I feel when they can't get a plot, they just throw unhinged religious group in the mix. Another religious group? Yes, another one. Craig Mazin, the showrunner of The Last of Us, said he didn't want the gun violence. Neil Druckmann's a huge control freak. He could be, but yeah, I'm almost positive. Here's Negan is right with. I'm almost positive it's Craig Mazin that didn't want the gun violence. But regardless, as far as The Walking Dead needing fresh and new ideas, I think that an argument could be made that I don't know how to word this without sounding like, because part of the argument is, or my argument is, maybe they're relying too much on the gimmick ideas. That's the way I'll put it. Like, for example, they're sitting in a room. They were like, oh, we need ideas. All right. And these are gimmick ideas. All right, so they're not changing anything about how they tell a story. Instead, they're going, let's just grab running walkers and throw it in the mix. The pie is already spoiled. So just because you get, toppings that are fresh. We got fresh strawberries. Yeah, but your pie is rotten already. And that's what they're doing. They're like, they have a rotten pie and they're grabbing fresh strawberries. Oh, the gimmicks. They're like, okay, let's do overseas. Let's do France. Throw it in the mix. But the pie's already rotted. Let's do, what else did they do? Acid zombies. Let's throw that in there. Oh, he's going to escort this kid. Let's throw that in there. And I don't mean like they need to fall back from ideas, because that's how that's going to sound. But they do need to stop with those gimmick ideas and come home and be like, okay, listen. This is zombie genre. We are grounded. Our foundation relies on the tombstone of the fans within the zombie genre. Like, that's where it started. That's where the core fan base is at. even ones that aren't into zombies, only except for because of The Walking Dead or within The Walking Dead. Like that's where the foundation is. So go back to the foundation and work on that and make it stronger with, again, I don't know if they want to do new storytelling, but if they're gonna new characters within their storytelling, they got to start fresh, more intimate, grounded. The Walking Dead has always done its best when it was the most grounded. No one wants to see, Daryl be a superhero and get shot 17 times and then walk it off like it's nothing. No one wants to see that shit. They want to see it, as grounded as possible but also still being interesting. One thing I'll give the AMC and The Walking Dead, they never shy away from the gore or violence. I give them props on that. I mean, at least in the past, now it's not but there's still some oh shit, moments, but it's just not as before. It was like, you were gonna get that whoa moment. Other than the backlash from 7-1, I remember there was a period where it felt like Tame was a bit. When he got grabbed by the toxic walker and it burned his arm, wouldn't he have gotten infected since the water skin kind of burned on his arm? They tried saying because they burned the wound that it's fine now. You know what I mean? That's how it's imagine, and I didn't bring this up in the review. I probably should have, but imagine like in the past, if you got bit, they cut your leg off, they cut your arm off. Well, this is the same thing. They got burned and she was talking like it was going to get infected, but maybe she's only meaning a normal infection, not the zombie infection, because we already know how that breaks down. I don't want to cover it again, but the zombie bite infection, it leads you to death. It doesn't turn you into a walker. So it kills you quickly, and because you die, you turn. I don't know. But that's the idea. So instead of cutting his arm off, they burned it, That's how it sounded when it played out. So how would you feel about multi-season adaptation of the Walking Dead games? Of course, it would seem ripping off The Last of Us for his first two. I don't think it would ever work at all because AMC doesn't have the rights to the games, period. So if you were to say, well, let's pretend they did, I really, I don't want to sound like a dick, but I really don't care until they have the rights. I don't want to play like, and you're not doing this. I'm just saying like, I don't want to get into the hypothetical, like what if HBO did have it? We've gone down that road 100 times. That's the only reason why I don't want to do it. But now if you were to ask like, well, what if Skybound just made their own? I'm pretty sure in the contract, we don't know it, but I would speculate that they can't do live action. So it has to be animated. What do I think about that? I don't care about the game story. We have the games. I don't give two shits about the story at all. Not even a little bit. We have the games. That's all I can say, Yeah, I don't. That's it. We have the games. I don't care for them to just give it to us again in the show. Will we see Merle cameo in a flashback in Daryl Dixon show? I mean, you never know. I mean, they could throw any little flashback in there, but the point though is it would be extremely limited. So do you want that? I personally don't give a fuck. Kirkman is where all the creativity comes from. Without him, AMC struggles to come up with interesting ideas. Andrew Lincoln wouldn't play Rick if HBO had the rights to The Walking Dead. Good to see you again, Ronnie. Well, thank you very much, Creatures of Darkness. Love this episode. I'm glad you liked it. Or loved it, bringing back walkers with weapons. If AMC took I disagree with them doing that, but if AMC took years off The Walking Dead and gave us a fire show, it could make it a huge hit again, but having 3 shows come out in less than 2 years since the main ended, yeah, I don't know. That trilogy Sam Raimi had in mind for The Last of Us sounds a hell of a lot better than what we ultimately got, man. The market is dry for a good zombie content. Thomas Jane from The Mist would probably be playing Rick in the HBO. He was actually, that's what you're going, that's what you're getting at. But yeah, he was actually the first person that they wanted cast. Frank Darabont, anyway. I get how they want this universe, though. All right, yep. Kirkman's producer, or whatever that means at this point. Well, I think Kirkman being a producer is just contractually. That has nothing, it's nothing but contractual. Like, I think that's as far as it goes. The CRM has been wasted on every level. Should have been 3 rings and a citizenship or something. It's like a shot drop. Oh yeah, he dropped an F-bomb. Yay. We should have had Negan do that. I don't like this whole new Messiah arc. It's a mockery of Christians out there who believes in the Bible. These godly Bible believing women would never think this kid is the new Messiah. Well, there's a couple things that get me. Like, we know that Hollywood is primarily anti-Christian openly. I'm not saying like, it's not like a secret, just in case anybody was like, oh, don't say that. They're open about it. It's fine. It's 2023, I'm not saying that's fine. I think, this is America. Well, yeah, it's filmed in, done in America, developed in America, but it's America. You do whatever the fuck you want, as long as it's not a crime, and you get the idea. Have at it. The pursuit of happiness and all that shit. But it comes off weird. It's like, here's religious characters, but, they're not bad guys. All right, that's new, not new, but you get what I'm saying. On the flip side, she's got like all the religions, and then you start getting it. You're like, oh, all right, they're not, they're not Christians, they're not Catholic, they're not. Well, maybe they are, but the idea was like, oh yeah, we embrace all religions type shit. Just like when you see in the new Exorcist movie, how we need the help of all religions together. It's like, that's a ridiculous concept, because if you were reaching out to, God, whatever, it would only be the one, whichever one that is. You don't need any man-made labels. It would just be the God and be like, yo, we got some demons down in these bitches. We need to get them out. Help, Are you gaming soon, please? I think there's some games coming out in October. Now, part of my plan is I'm going to put the PlayStation 5 back in the office. I took it out a few months ago, put it up to the 4K living room monitor to watch some movies, play some games out there on a bigger screen. I will say some of the games on a bigger screen is like even way more impressive. But I do want to try Scorn. It's not the most exciting, but I do want to give it a shot. There's a couple others we talked about that are coming out in October, but part of the idea is, when I get home from work, there's a couple talking head things I want to record. Every now and again, maybe twice a week, sit down to play a game, and those will be on the Ronnie Hayes channel, because the Ronnie Hayes is gaming plus collectibles and stuff. Like recently, I was in Walmart and I actually came across this. I knew of it before, just because I follow the artwork for Steelbooks. But since it's Halloween coming up, this is Halloween 1 and 2, the collector's edition. The director's cut of both 1 and 2. It's in a steelbook case, and it comes with both movies on Blu-ray with some special features. I wanted to show you guys this.
It wasn't the best, but I didn't hate it, so I'll keep watching. The armed Unitarian nuns were an interesting, unexpected touch.
Yeah. The armed ones. I did get a kick out of them being blown to shit. Not because I want to see religious people blown to shit. It's just, it contrasts with, nuns, they're, they waddle along and they're all positive and helpful and, loving, and then they're getting blown away and they're fighting. It's a little bit of a laugh. But Anonymous, thank you very much for the $20 tip. Let me wrap up just a shout out, because I know there's some Halloween fans, but this is Walmart exclusive. They run for about $25. They also have Blair Witch, Saw, Leprechaun. Saw is 8 movies. Leprechaun is 4 movies. The Fireflies, the Rob Zombie trilogy, that is there. I think it's like 30. But I love the artwork, and I have the Halloween, the first one, but my idea is this will be my steelbook for the first one, and then this is my steelbook for the second one. I'm going to take the 1 disc out, put in the 2 4K one, and then this will be what I have for the rest of my life. I don't ever need Halloween 1 or 2. This is it for the rest of my life. These 2 right here. And next year I'm doing reviews of these, so that's why I wanted to have them in physical on the shelf for the Flavor Saw. But just shouting out that if you did like Halloween, I love the artwork. Go and pick it up. It's got this vintage style to it, and then the back again with him holding the head. Oh wow, it's got a glare. Him holding the head. They might drop in price, but they also are limited to 2 a store. I don't know, but Mayan put them out early, just to cover that up for fans of. See, I want the Blair Witch Project and the Leprechaun, but I'm gonna take the chance of waiting for them to go on sale. You know, I'm gonna take that chance, and sometimes you get lucky and you can find them cheap. Like I just found, what was it? Like, Steelbook of 6 Universal Monsters for like 13 shipped, you know, brand new. And when I ordered it, like 2 weeks later, the price went back up to $60. I don't know why it went on sale, but I don't care. You know, I got all 6 of them. I actually watched one last night? I watched The Bride of Frankenstein, parts of it. Those old movies, I would like to do a stream and show off, because I think I can show some of those old Universal Monsters because they're so old. But I would love to do a stream and just show off some of those and talk about it, because I have ideas about them, and I think it pertains to stuff that I would like to do in the future as far as movie making. But some of the visual flair of those Universal Monster movies are still gorgeous to this day. Like Frankenstein, you know, stomping through the graveyard, you know, with the tree and the backdrop and how they have it. It's just, I don't know. It's just so visually beautiful. I think they are beautiful. Anyway, I'll shut up, but I'm not a big fan of black and white, but I think as I get older, I'm getting more and more a fan of the Universal Monsters. I loved them as a kid, but I thought they were old and dated. However, now that I'm getting older, I'm finding like this beauty in the really old Universal Monsters movies. And I would love to do a little stream for those of us that like the Universal Monsters. Sometimes sit and daydream about how much better Frank Darabont Month's Walking Dead probably would have been better. Oh man. Imagine if AMC focused like on The Walking Dead. Spin on its quality would be a lot better. I mean, they could just pay people to make it better. I don't get what they're doing. Like AMC is not like 3 people. I hear what you're saying, but they're not like 3 people with a brain sitting in a room, you know, focused on 500 things. They hire people to focus on The Walking Dead and only The Walking Dead, in different jobs. And again, I don't know. I don't want to disparage the workers, but it doesn't. If they are zombie fans, I will tell you right now, it does not feel like any of you are zombie fans, except the people making the zombie makeup. Those guys, yes. Everyone else, no. It feels like you're doing this for just a job and a job only, you know? That looks better than in that picture you posted on X. Yeah, you know, I said that. It's weird because sometimes people will be like, oh man, you know, we saw a picture, we know what it looks like, but it's hard to explain. Sometimes you'll see a picture and it's like, oh, that's cool. But then you see it in hand. And even this one, it's not like it's matte, but there's like a touch of semi-gloss on the finish. Now the case I put it in gives it a high gloss, but for some reason in hand, it has this shine about it that translates better just in hand than in a picture. And when you say that online, you sound stupid. I know I feel like I sound stupid, but it does. In hand, I looked at it and I was like, man, that looks really cool, you know? Thoughts on a new Walking Dead game coming out? It's dead on arrival. That new game is trash. It looks like trash, and it probably will play like trash. Halloween Ends is an underrated gem, in my opinion. Boy, if you look at it as its own thing, it just sucks it was given the ending. Well, I said it in my original review that if I watch Halloween Ends as not a Halloween / Michael Myers / Laurie Strode movie, if I watch it just as a whole new IP, I actually enjoy it. But as a Halloween / final Michael Myers versus Laurie Strode, I think it is horrendous. It is clear that they had no fucking clue what to do, and they desperately grabbed a script off the shelf that was collecting dust. That was a good script, and they were like, change it a little, jam Michael in there, and let's start filming this fucking thing, you know? Anyhow, have a good night, AP. Just showed up. Was it any good? I thought it was mid as fuck. But chat is liking it. Let's shut the chat down, the poll down. Daryl Dixon show got good ratings in this group, I should say, with 83% voting yes, and that was, I think, 83% since you guys started voting to the end. It stayed consistent around 80% people liked it. I definitely see that. Again, it's weird. It's like I have my problems with it, but I can acknowledge that it is better than like Fear, for example. Like it's definitely better than Fear, which I gotta say, I am looking forward to them explaining what's his name, Troy, on Fear. That's gonna be a mess. We are gonna shut down here in a minute because we're at that hour and I gotta get up early as shit for work and work in the sun. I didn't even check the weather. Ooh, what's the weather gonna be like this week? Because part of my plan is we're getting into the fall. I've been working for like a month and a half, 2 months now at this new job, and it's still gonna take me a couple months just to dig out of my hole a little bit. But in the meantime, if the heat can just chill the fuck out and I can start breaking away and getting some things done when I get home, we could have a couple streams on the Ronnie Hayes. I know there was, like, I got a new shower curtain. I let my daughter pick out the shower curtain, and she picked it's not Halloween themed, but it's like the slasher themed. I don't know if you guys can see it good. I posted a picture on X, but it has, oh yeah, you could still see it. It's got Freddy Krueger, Jason, Leatherface, and Michael Myers. Now, it looks great in person and in the picture, but it probably looks bad, the way I showed it to you. The print quality is clean. It's got those 4 on it. I would have preferred, I like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the first one, and the remake in 2003. But if I could have picked, I would have changed him for Ghostface, Those are my 4 like champs right now. Freddy, Ghostface, Michael, and Michael, did I say that right? And Jason Voorhees. So, but it still looks great. So I was going to do like a quick little video. Oh, look, here we got a shower curtain. But then I thought, no one gives a fuck, but I still might, because you never know. 2 or 3 of you might be like, yo, that shower curtain's bomb as fuck. I want to get one, I'm not saying for ad revenue. I don't make any fucking money off it. I don't make it. You know what I mean? It's not like I secretly make shower curtains, but anyhow. So the idea is I might throw out a couple of those smaller ones on the Ronnie Hayes channel. There's a couple topics that I wanted to discuss on this one. And it might start officially. I was going to start it like 2 weeks ago, but like I said, the heat wave kicked the shit out of me. So maybe in this coming week, going into next week, we'll be back here next Sunday for the second episode of Daryl Dixon. But keep an eye out on this channel, the Ronnie Hayes channel. Maybe not this week, but next week I can start getting in some gameplay streams. Like maybe, once or twice a week, especially for the new stuff. I would like to do Scorn. I seen someone did a Scorn text. I don't know if he said something good about it, though. I love Rob Zombie's 1 and 2. Spin it. Where's the... Maybe someone didn't say. I thought someone said Scorn about the gameplay, but we'll see. Best shark movie besides Jaws? Shit, man. I don't even know. Nothing else jumps out. Like, I'm not a big fan of the Meg or anything like that. I don't know. Jaws 2, you know? What do you guys think? I know there's one. I know there was one that I was surprisingly like, oh, this is enjoyable, but it wasn't even close to Jaws level of awesome. My opinion, should have had French show in the new cast and main plot focus on a Walker. They set up a world beyond, not the random Daryl story feels a waste. Yeah, I hear what you mean. I never watched a new show, but do you think the problem is only focus on legacy characters as opposed to developing multi-long seasonal character development with a new? Listen, this is risky, but I tell you what would have been a really interesting choice. Now I say it's risky because people would have wanted Daryl Dixon. Daryl Dixon is the name of the show, but how cool would it have been to? And maybe it's not. Maybe it's. It really depends on how you play this out, but maybe start it following that girl. You know, the girl and the guy who pretended he was blind. Maybe start following them. And, you know, for 15 minutes, you're wondering what's going on. And then they run into Daryl. And again, do a slightly different, like, just don't focus so much on the nun. We don't need to know this nun shit. You could quickly set up, oh, these weirdos think he's the Messiah. Okay, fucking weirdo. But then they saved you, so you're going to take them anyhow. Then along the movie, or the show, you can start building on to the nun shit. You know, you don't have to have a half episode of the nuns. But anyway, so we're following this girl and the guy who pretended to be blind. You run into Daryl. And, you know, I pitched this kind of way of this perspective before with Batman. Like, follow Joker, and Batman is that you know, myth in the shadows, that the boogeyman in the shadows. But kind of do that with Daryl Dixon. Like, she runs into Daryl, so now we get Daryl in the story. But then you get it from the perspective of survivors that are living, you know, around our legacy characters. I think that would have been it. But again, it really depends on the charm and charisma of the person you're casting and the interwoven story that you're telling. But do something that has like an intense connection to Daryl. And then when it comes back around, you know, give us some sort of like boom moment. And then you can lead into, you know, more of the Daryl show. And again, that's just one little perspective change that you could have done to help, among others that you could have incorporated here. I'm trying to think of, my worry is they would have done something just generic and we would have been like, we don't give a fuck about this bitch. We're here to watch Daryl. Where's Daryl? You know, because it really depends on the story you're telling. And that's only like one little idea that they could have done to add to new legacy characters. Because you're right. If we're getting is the legacy characters, and then what they'll do is they'll throw a character we don't care about that's been in the background for 2 seasons. They'll throw her in her own episode, and then they wonder why none of us give a fuck, you know? Top 4 Blu-ray Addict says Jason, Freddy, Michael, and Chucky. You know what? I forgot about Chucky. He's up there. He's high on my list too. Yeah, he's high on my list. Like Jason, Freddy, Michael, Chucky, and Ghostface are probably like my 5, but I don't know how to take it to 4. Now that I think about it, I don't know, because Ghostface is, you know, is a mask. You know what I'm saying? Like Michael Myers is Michael Myers, Jason Voorhees, Jason Voorhees, Chucky, Freddy. It's not just, you know, like anybody can be Ghostface. So I might take him out and put Chucky in. I don't know. You know, check out Chucky season 3. No, I didn't even watch Chucky season 2. I might check it out if it's free, or if I find it on a deal. I don't know. Yeah, but I'm not paying for a service for it. The Shallows was solid. Was it The Shadows? It might be. I'm not a fan of Deep Blue Sea, but it might be The Shallows. I know there was one that I confuse it with, or there's a good one and a bad one. And I know I always confuse them, and that's why I didn't want to mention like 41. Was it 41 meters down or something like that? Because I know there's one that I don't like, and last time I mixed up the one I didn't like with the one I did like. Jaws in 4K is a little funny looking. Why do you say that? Which part of it though? I watched it in 4K. I liked it. I mean, given if you mean some of the stuff that we can see now, like things that you know, telltale signs of filmmaking, then yeah, I mean, I you get that with everything. I think especially now, Terminator. You got a guy that's not even Arnold Schwarzenegger riding the bike. Scream. There's a girl that's not even Nev Campbell or Stu Macher when they're fighting, because the stunt doubles. Chick with the blind guy just disappeared after they took her. What happened to her? Maybe she'll show up again. Maybe she was just a plot device. 47 meters down. I'll have to look him up. How can Troy return? He just walks into the room, bro. That's it. I bet they give no explanation for it. I don't think so either. Anyone could return from being killed off. Is Knock at the Cabin any good? I watched it based on the recommendation from a family member who liked it a lot, but I didn't like it. If you watch the trailer, like that is the movie. Like that's everything. But I really thought there was no payoff at all. It was like a M. Night Shyamalan no twist. It's like if you watch the trailer, it's exactly what it's the trailer. You've seen the movie. That was my problem with it. If AMC made The Last of Us knock off, it would be better than the HBO series. Ouch. What made The Walking Dead great was seeing new characters and new interactions and seeing them all develop with each other. Now it's just limited series. I will say the interactions with characters definitely, there's a noticeable struggle integrating new characters for sure. Like with, take the girl, Tara, for example. They had a start shaping her story around the governor. Then they connected her with Glenn, and they just dropped it. And they were like, "Oh, you guys love Tara, all right? She's gonna go sit in the background and juggle her titties for a bit and hang out with her fucking rapist brother and take shots off some stripper's belly." She's probably a wonderful person. I don't know. Is she related to Masterson? I thought that was is that real or a joke? Yeah, because I think that's her name, isn't it? Anyway, yeah, she's gonna fucking chill off to the side for 7 years and then randomly get her own episode, and we're supposed to love her. Like, the fuck you talking about, bro? We don't even know this bitch anymore. All right. I also found this at took my daughter to a yard sale. She grabbed a whole stack of puzzles for 25 cents each. She makes a killing at yard sales because the older people will be like, "Oh, a little kid, here, buy everything, $2." But yeah, check it out, 7 on VHS. I set up a VCR in the garage, and I got some work to do. I'm gonna pop this in, and actually, I don't think I'm gonna watch this on VHS, to be honest. I just got this for the backdrop. I would like to set up a backdrop with a few VHS in the background. I've talked about it before, but yeah, I don't think I'm gonna watch 7. I say that because recently I watched Time Cop, and it was fun on VHS, but I watched 7 in 4K, and it was glorious. Now that I've seen it in 4K, I don't think I give a damn to go back and watch it tainted in VHS, And I say that as someone who loves the sound, the feel, the shape, the everything. It's nostalgic having a VHS tape. But some of the movies just look so amazing. The fun action ones, it doesn't matter. Like even Friday the 13th, I could watch some of those on VHS, because some of them, they only look so good on 4K still, Oh shit, 7 VHS is not dead. Hell no, it's not. And this is I thought this was the original release. This is the director's widescreen edition. And I got excited because it was 25 cents, hell yeah. but it's like brand new. Hell yeah. But this one line here changes it because I need the one that is only the original poster because that's the one I had growing up when I was a kid. Seven was one of those movies that I damn sure got on VHS. Seven, and it was one of the first movies I got on DVD too when those came out. Because I remember the very first movie I ever bought on DVD, and I didn't even have a DVD player. I had to play it in a computer. And that was the only reason because they used to say DVD will play in your ROM, whatever that ROM drive, however they set it, your DVD ROM or something. Anyhow, the only reason I was like, shit, we got an old shitty computer with a ROM drive. We bought some burner that we can burn music from the pawn shop. I was like, I could watch it in that, Anyhow, American History X was the very first movie. I went to, I forget what store that had DVDs. And this is when they were newish, not newish, but you get what I'm saying. It's movies are hitting DVD for the first time ever. Like American History X, it was like August fucking 1999 or some shit like that. And I remember the big deal was because DVD had the special features. So I'm looking through the 10 movies that this store sold of this new DVDs. And I remember that was the one where I was like, oh, I love that movie. And everything else was like, I don't know, like Pretty Woman or so, like there were good movies, but it's not like my good movie, So I snatched that up, went home, I snatched up that, Seven, watched the special features and the director's commentary. I used to love that shit. Anyhow, did you hear Johnny Depp was dating Jenna Ortega? Get the fuck out of here. There's no way that's real. Is that real? Isn't she like 20? He's like 120. I love Johnny Depp, but come on, man. You old as fuck. Ain't he like 80? No, I'm sorry. He's like 60. Still, he's old. 60 and 20. I don't even think she's 21 yet. God damn. Bro, even I was thinking like, bro, Ronnie, you gotta stop looking at Jenna Ortega like that, bro. She young as fuck, Anyhow, oh shit, Seven. You gotta bet VCR combo. I used to have I think all of us used to have a TV VCR combo. They were the shit. I remember you get everything all in one. Grab it, you're good to go. You don't gotta fuck around with getting a VCR. Walking Dead was never scared of introducing new characters developed by much scenes too. Nah, they weren't. They had new characters and they played around with it, but I think the problem with the Daryl Dixon show is same thing with the Dead City. Motion. If you're not in one, if you're not in one place, it's hard to introduce characters when you're moving, Even like, for example, The Walking Dead, when it was moving, it introduced temporary characters, and it did it in a way where like Beth and the hospital people, but the group is in motion. But there's still that there's still that stationary aspect of the storytelling. But when you get these stories like Dead City going from an area to the city and not knowing if you're staying there, you're going to have characters where it's like you're unsure of what you do. So like, for example, the Dead City, the group that, Maggie runs into, what are they, all dead by the end? It's like, so when you have that motion, like Daryl, what is he doing? He's getting to a new area, meeting characters, but then he's going where on this journey? So you have to kill everybody except for the 3 characters you're going to take. And then on the road, they're probably going to die too, or at least, half of them. Bought a VHS of Jurassic Park as a middle finger to Dominion. I like Spider-Man DVD. I put it on my PC and play Spider-Man demo. That's what's up. Dune, the Batman were the first 2 4K movies I ever bought. John Wick was the very first 4K movie I ever bought, and that's because I was somewhere. I didn't have a 4K player or a TV, but it was like John Wick, $4.99 at like Best Buy or some shit. And I remember thinking like, I eventually want to watch it, that's cheap as fuck. And it was brand new, official. I'm like, pfft, I just bought it, you know? But that was the first one. Outside of that, I don't know, because I started buying steelbooks for a steelbook only movie collection. And I changed my mind. I want steelbook and slipcover only. My thing is I want to get rid of anything that has a blue case because it looks tacky as fuck. You know, when you if you look at your Blu-rays and they got the whole blue little plastic on the top of all your Blu-rays, I've always hated the look of that. So plus I want to upgrade to 4K and that, I'm good for the rest of my life. That's it. I'll never need another movie, anything in my life. I'm not talking about if they come up with some sort of, I don't know, fucking on the go projection where you're, you know, some sort of technology that's crazy. But, just Googled it. She's 20. Ouch. No, Jenna and Johnny came out and said it wasn't true. Jenny Depp. She probably won't shit the bed though. No. Jenna Ortega's fine as fuck though, man. She's fine as fuck. Just give me 3 minutes of Jenna Ortega, maybe 4. She'd be wanting to marry MX. What the fuck? That sounds like a crime, bro. I'm pretty sure Johnny Depp's dating someone else. Deepfake prawns. I bought the Creep Show 4K last month. All right. Anything else you guys want to get off your chest? We got 2 minutes. I got to shut this down. I'm going to be fucking hurting in the morning. I think I covered everything. And I keep saying it, just hang in there. We're going to be doing updates for stuff coming up. I'm making like a fucking huge shift. It's like moving a boat. So things are taking quite a while. A whole week could go by. I might not get anything done, but just, you know, work to get some money coming in. Because I got a lot of things in the future that I'm going to be doing where I need to be proper with money and not having to have it shaky. Like, for example, upgrading the computer. And I don't want to jump on stream like I'm some fucking begging, you know, streamer, like a DSP. Like, oh, I need $100 every time I'm on stream, chat. Give me money, you know? And meanwhile, the guy's rich, make $100,000 a year and still begging like a fucking crackhead. That's the last thing I want to do. So I'm getting my affairs in order. Next year, early next year, I'm already planning. I'm going to upgrade the PC. That'll help with editing. I got some other stuff in the works. So you guys continue to be patient with me. I appreciate it like a motherfucker. And I'll start putting out some stuff that'll entertain you here shortly. Ronnie, want to see some flowing? Oh man, miss them. I miss making them. I actually watched 2 of my old Flaw vs. All videos, and I was just sitting back thinking like, my God, do I miss them so much making those things. But hang in there. I'm getting closer and closer to being a little more stable to get some time together to put things together. All right. I got to get going. I appreciate the support, guys. Ronnie, we'll see some flowing. Oh, you're going to be, wait. Will you be going to see Beetlejuice 2 in theater? Yeah, I got to. I mean, listen, Jenna Ortega's in that too. Ooh, boy, Lord have mercy. I don't crush easy on celebrities, but let me tell you right now, Jenna Ortega, something else. It's different though, because before it was like, who's this little cutie? And no one knew who she was. Now they blow up overnight. It's like everyone's jonesing for Jenna Ortega. I'm a just hater now. Fuck you, bitch. You know? No, I'm kidding. Anyway, I'm going to go. I'll see you guys sometime this week. And next weekend, 10 o'clock, talk about Daryl Dixon, episode 2. I'm hoping it's better, me personally. Now that the setup is done, I'm looking forward to what they're bringing out next. Some sort of crazy-ass acid trip looking like fucking dead snow out this bitch. That one girl. We're taking over the world or whatever. Jenna deepfake run. Nah, I'm good on the deepfakes. I'm good on that. I am good on that. Unless it's like a clone that can come to your house in person. Other than that, I don't got time for it. I don't got time for OnlyFans. I don't got time for fucking live streamers. That's not my cup of tea. Don't have time for deepfakes. You know, if it's not real life, I ain't got real time for it. I'm gonna be blunt with you. All right, I'm just wired that way, I guess. But I appreciate your tip. All right, I'm out of here, guys. Have a good one. Be safe, and see you next Sunday.